What are you doing on March 17th, 9 a.m. Pacific time? I hope that you will be joining the first ever inaugural Festival of Understanding. This is going to be a 5-day event where every day at 9 a.m. Pacific time, I'll be giving you a lecture, a 15-minute lecture on some really new natto concept or a new way of viewing it, followed by a 15-minute Q&A session where you can post your questions in the comments and I will answer as many of them as I can. I'm going to tell you a little bit more about the details of the festival, but first of all, just a little kind of behind the scenes, or I want to share where the inspiration for this came from. I'm following this YouTube channel called Real Vision, and they talk mainly about like finance, macro, crypto, and things of that nature. But they did something I thought was really nice, which was they held this thing they called a Festival of Learning, which was a free multiple day event where they just had lectures and shared kind of their most recent research with their audience. And I was like, that's really nice. We should do something like that at the Sleep Coach School. So here it is. The Festival of Understanding is here. So yes, it's starting on March 17th, which is a Monday, and then for for a total of 5 days, I'll be giving these lectures. And so on March 17th, on the first day, we're going to talk about the new definition of insomnia. We've always talked about insomnia as an ongoing self-perpetuating struggle that is rooted in a fear of not sleeping. And I think that is actually a helpful definition, and it has helped thousands of people. But I think it is actually more true to think of insomnia as an ongoing, perpetual, self-perpetuating struggle rooted in thinking of wakefulness as a threat. And when you hear this immediately, you think like, oh, fear of, or as a threat. Not big of a, is it a big of a deal? Is this really that different? It is quite different. One reason is that if we think of something as a threat, we may become afraid, but we also may become sad or angry. And there's a lot more flexibility, and it just opens up things to a whole new understanding, this new definition. So that's what we're going to talk about on Monday. And then following on that, on Tuesday, we're going to talk about tokenization, which is when something harmless, something inherently harmless, is mislabeled as a threat. And we're going to see how this applies to insomnia, but we're going to see how this also applies to experiences sort of within the insomnia struggle, like struggling with anxiety, or struggling with hypnic jerks, or struggling with depersonalization, struggling with fatigue. And we're going to see how these are actually very unifiable under this umbrella of tokenization. And building on that, on Wednesday, we're going to see how when we see this, when we see what we talked about on Monday and Tuesday, we're going to see that befriending actually goes beyond wakefulness. There are these kind of mini struggles within the struggle of insomnia, and befriending helps us find peace and freedom from all of the kind of versions of the one struggle. In fact, it's just one struggle. And then on Thursday, we're going to sort of like take a little detour in sort of a freestanding lecture that, everything is tied together, but this one could actually be a freestanding lecture. It's going to be on sameness, and it's going to talk about how we can often think that our situation is unique and different and special, which can be a little tricky. But when we introduce the principle of sameness, we see that this is not the case. We'll see that just as my kidneys principally work the same as your kidneys, and my pancreas works the same as my neighbor's pancreas, etc., etc., we'll see that the same applies actually to the human brain and mind. And we see this, that can be really, really freeing, because then we truly see that our struggle is no different from that of others, and that the path to freedom is the same for all of us. And then on Friday, the final day of the festival, we're going to synthesize everything, put everything together, and we're going to see why perhaps you've not really seen things click for you, or seen that relief that you were hoping for, even though you've been tuning in for a while. So it's really helpful if you've been an ongoing student here. If you're new, this is going to give you like a nice overview of where our current thinking is. So I am really, really hoping to see you on March 17th, and for the whole festival, of course. And if this sounds like something that you want to be part of, then just head over to the description of this video, sign up using the link. And again, can't wait to see you at the first ever inaugural Festival of Understanding. Bye for now.